Simon Guobadia says that he has regrets and he feels as if Porsha Williams targeted him.
Can y'all believe this shit? Can y'all believe this shit?
Let's talk about his new interview from Dubai with Page 6.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Don't forget, Philly, I'm coming to your city on July 10th at City Winery. There is a summer flash sale this week only. It ends on Sunday. So if you've been waiting to see our live show where we talk about topics like Simon Guobadia and Diddy and everything else, get your tickets today. And then I'm coming to Atlanta City Winery on August 5th. Then we'll be in DC on August 22nd, and then back here in New York City on September 12th. Don't forget, all shows have meet and greet, so we can meet, kiki, take pictures, all of that stuff. And the New York City show has a special live stream option. And remember, what I say in Atlanta, DC, or Philly won't be what I say come September in New York City. Get your tickets today. More information on that will be available in the description. So, as you know, we've been talking about this divorce between Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia for a while now. And Porsha barely talked about it on this season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she did do a photo shoot, sort of like the renaissance of Porsha Peach Juice Williams, no longer Guobadia, in celebration of like the waiting to exhale moment with Bernadine, and she blew up the car, blah, blah, blah. Okay. She did all of that. Well, now Simon is talking to Page 6, claiming that he felt blindsided by their divorce. And I wanted to unpack it, and we're going to unpack it together, because I feel as if Simon Guobadia has scammed a lot of people, but he met the ultimate scammer. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Let's get into it, because they talk about a lot of different things, including what exactly happens in this whole final divorce prenuptial agreement that was upheld by the court. Simon says he's not going away quietly. And I already knew this. The moment that he came out of ICE custody, here we are. Simon's already doing interviews with Page 6. So let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Do you regret marrying her?
Absolutely. I said to her in one of my text messages to her, because she didn't respond, because I kept asking her, why did you file for divorce?
I will never understand why this man does not have bass in his voice, but okay.
And she wouldn't say anything. I tried to reach her mom. Her mom would not respond either.
Miss Diane's too busy eating pepperoni pizza in your ex bed.
I later figured out this felt like a coup. You know, when
Not a coup.
I don't know if you're familiar with. I'm familiar. I say it because I'm from Nigeria, and that we were ruled at one point by the military, and so every so often when you want to change leadership, the president, you stage a coup.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I was totally blindsided. I was no member of her family, whether on the mother's side, on the father's side, reached out to me. And the only person I actually reached out.
Literally, this is what Porsha said too. Porsha at one particular point, I think it was during the season, where she said that she tried having his family intervene in regards to their divorce, and they wouldn't respond to her, and they wanted no involvement.
To was her mom, and she didn't respond, and so I essentially sent her a text message. I said this was a $5 million rehab project that I took on. She never shared her concerns.
$5 million rehab project. Wait a minute. How did we get to $5 million? How much money did you spend on her?
Issues with me before filing for divorce. If you're married, I've been married quite a bit. I think I understand a little bit about the dynamics of.
He's been married what, 5 times?
Understand a little bit about the dynamics of.
If you've been married 5 times, when are you the problem? And I know Porsha's been married one other time before, but he's been married about 5 times. When are you the problem? We also can't have short-term memory. We remember what went down between him and Fallon. And look, Fallon is not innocent. She is married to the pool boy. Or was she married to the pool boy? Did they really get married? Well, they just had a second child together. The assistant. I don't remember what his job was. So she clearly was cheating on him. But the way that he dragged her on social media, like, he's not 100% innocent.
relationship, you discuss issues and say, hey, if this does not change or something does not happen, this is what might come of it.
Mm-hmm.
We never had those discussions, and I'm happy to share with you text messages where I was essentially blindsided by the divorce filing.
I was
We all were blindsided by the divorce filing because it was just like the week before she was calling him her piece on social media. But we have to also remember the timeline of what happened, because that's when we had the breaking news that we got to see more of Simon Guobadia's history of immigration and fraud and entering the country under an undisclosed identity. I don't know why they say undisclosed identity instead of just saying a fraudulent one. But okay, we'll go with undisclosed for legal reasons.
actually going to ask you if this was something that you saw coming, if conversations had been had prior. What do you think what do you think Portia's reason was to file for divorce?
I think I was targeted.
In what
Uh,
way?
I was targeted from day one for
Targeted.
financial reasons. When I
And water is wet, Simon. What? We all have felt this way. That not that you were targeted, but that she was marrying you not for your looks.
filed for divorce from my previous, ex-wife, she was in my DM praying for me.
Remember the story about how they got together? He announced his divorce from Fallon. All of a sudden, Porsha slips into his DMs. I'm praying for you.
And I think I was in a vulnerable position at that
Oh,
time, and I entertained it, and so it just kind of snowballed from there.
Mhm.
Getting engaged in 30 days. I mean, who does that? I was
you did, sir. You're a grown adult.
out of my my
Are you telling me that she proposed to you? Is that what you're telling me right now, Simon Guobadia? Is that what you're telling me?
goddamn mind to have done that, and of course, I'm paying dearly for it.
Wow. That brings me to my next topic. There was some reports stating that the judge overseeing your divorce case has upheld the prenup that you guys signed before entering marriage. Um, are you able to share a little bit about what those terms are or look like?
That you receive $40,000 a month in alimony
Mm-hmm.
for the length of the marriage, which
14 to
was
15
14
months.
months.
Okay.
She gets to stay in the house, all expenses paid, including the mortgage, through for 36 months, up to 36 months.
And honestly, what would you choose if you could stay in a multi-million dollar mansion for 36 months and everything is being paid by him? I'd stay. I mean, I would still have my little backup. I would still be at least thinking about where I'm going to live after these 36 months, but I would be staying.
And if she chooses to
We also have to keep in mind, he signed off on this divorce. Not divorce. He signed off on this prenuptial agreement. You did.
own the home, she would have to refinance the property in her name
Mhm.
and take a 50% equity. I mean, she would have to give me 50% equity in the home.
Wow. What is your reaction to that ruling and that decision?
It's basically what I've held from day one about the
The other thing to mention, she also gets to keep the Rolls Royce that he gifted her. She also gets to keep that. And the Rolls Royce, again, based on what I've seen of Rolls Royces, that's worth probably like $300,000 plus.
case when I realized that I was targeted. I've had prenups in previous relationship,
Yeah, previous marriages, not relationships, previous marriages he's had.
and I've honored those prenups without reservation.
Mhm.
Hmm.
This time around, I've chosen to challenge in court all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to.
All the way to the Supreme Court. We already know Simon Guobadia is petty. He means that.
This enforcement of the prenup is going to continue to to receive legal challenges on the appeal front.
Okay, so you're vowing to appeal this decision for sure.
1000% is going to be appealed.
One of the things that has recently kind of come out is that Porsha said she paid child support for your children while you were in ICE custody. What is your reaction to that?
She sent her two $2,500 payments in 1 month, and that was it. That
So he's confirming that she actually did make these payments. This was discovered during their divorce proceedings that she had made these payments. I know there's been speculation on whether or not she actually did it. No, he's now confirming that she definitely gave that $2,500 payments to the baby's mother.
didn't even necessarily cover anything. I heard for the first time in court that that had happened, and I immediately texted my ex-wife asking her, did she receive any funds from Porsha? She said yes. Porsha reached out to her and offered to give those funds to her. Um, in my opinion, it was not it wasn't done in good faith.
Okay, Simon, I got to stop you there. Okay, we could speculate. And look, Porsha has me blocked. I will always bring it up. So I'm not a huge fan of Porsha. However, her making payments in your absence of being detained, I don't think Porsha is completely innocent, and people do let Porsha get away with a lot. However, her making those payments, you don't think that they were made in good faith? Maybe she really did feel bad for your baby's mother, your ex-wife, while you're being detained by ICE. I also seen that he speculated that he believes that Porsha may have been behind him getting arrested. Sir, you've been defrauding the United States immigration system since the 80s. I think even before I was born.
That is funny.
We have to keep that in mind. We have to keep in mind, yes, we know Porsha has lied and probably continues to lie. But we have to also keep in mind that this man has been lying to the United States government since the 80s.
It was done to give a narrative in court or to the public that I paid Simon's um, um, I paid Simon's child support.
Did Porsha have a relationship with this son of yours that she sent his mother money for?
Not particularly. My boys um, were with me for the last 5+ years. They've been with me 1 week on, 1 week off. And quite frankly, my kids don't care who daddy's married to or who daddy's dating.
But if you're saying that they're spending time at the home that you share with Porsha, that means there probably was some relationship on some level. I think it's very convenient after a relationship ends that he wants to downplay the relationship and her relationship with the kids. But if the kids, it'd be different if you had the kids maybe once in a blue or as much time as PK from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has with his children, then I could understand. But you're talking about having the kids every other week. Come on.
And she never developed any particular relationship with my kids. They came as they came and we all did family things together, but there's not one particular child that she has a personal relationship with.
Do you feel that you have a relationship with her daughter?
I don't have a relationship with her daughter simply because I've I, in the past I found myself where when I separate from any of my exes with children, there's a tendency for them to use their children to get back at me,
Mm.
to come, to try to come back into my life.
So you intentionally put up a wall between you and Pilar. What does that say about your intention in getting into this relationship with Porsha? You married a woman that you were intentionally trying not to have a relationship with her daughter. We have to keep in mind during the season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, part of Porsha's storyline was that Pilar was asking about Simon, that she texts Simon, that Pilar's asking about you. She painted the picture that Simon and Pilar had a close relationship. Did we believe that? I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but hearing him say that he intentionally did not have a relationship with Pilar because he's had exes use their children against him in the past. You're saying to me that you would not have a relationship with Pilar, even though you had the intention of being married to Porsha for forever. So you weren't going to have a close relationship with her young daughter. You get what I'm saying, guys? We can have our feelings about Porsha, but I think we have two scammers trying to out scam us.
And Porsha is no exception. She sent me a text telling me that her daughter misses me, and I didn't respond because there was a concerted effort at some point that she realized she had made a mistake, and wanted to reconcile. At that point, I was done.
Do you guys really believe that Porsha wanted to reconcile with Simon? I don't know if I believe that. I think with everything that was coming out around Simon at that time, and she filed for divorce, despite denying to People Magazine that through sources that it had nothing to do with all that information that came about his immigration status and defrauding and things like that. She said it had nothing to do with that. However, I think she did. It did have something to do with that. And she was just like, this might be my out. I might need to get out of here. Again, if you've been following the channel for a long time, you already know I've never really believed that this was a loving relationship, but people get into relationships and marriages for different reasons. Some do it for the financial reasons. I personally, that wouldn't be my MO. However, there are plenty of people that do. And in other cultures, that is normal. However, I'm not shocked. None of us are shocked that Porsha may have married this man for the money.
Hell no.
He seems to be the only one that might be shocked. But I also think that he married her for ill-gotten gain as well. Maybe it was to be famous. Maybe it was to be known as a public figure. Remember when he changed his Instagram to a public figure? He even got his teeth done. He got a waist trainer and everything. Simon Guobadia is not innocent. Simon Guobadia has defrauded the United States government, allegedly, I'll say. Do I have to say allegedly? He was detained by ICE and then deported. This is not his first time being deported. And he still wants to talk to Donnie to see if he can get back into the country. Don't think that's going to happen, at least not during this administration. You're not the right skin color, Simon. Sorry. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on what Simon Guobadia had to say to Page Six in believing that he was the target from Porsha. He was the target of a coup. As always, let's continue this conversation in the comments section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.